everybody! I have very much been looking forward to this video because guess what came out? The third book in the Woven Kingdom series is finally out. All This Twisted Glory by Tehereh Mafi. It's pretty fresh. It just came out a few weeks ago and I have been waiting so long to read it, so I'm very excited. Today I'm going to try something new. So instead of doing a review, this time I'm going to do a read with me where I am going to start it and film myself reading it so you can see my reactions as they happen throughout the book. So here we go. First off, we have this amazing cover. It is so pretty. Like, all of the books in this series have such pretty covers. They did a really good job with that. This is kind of embarrassing, but it took me forever to realize that these shapes here were actually moon phases. I had absolutely no idea until I was staring at it, and then I realized. I was like, oh. So for those of you who don't know much about this series, it is written by Tehereh Mafi. She was the authoress of the Shadow Me series, which I have also read all of those books. They were pretty good, but I like her fantasy better. It was very good, and I cannot wait to see where it goes. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and start. Okay, we're starting out with these quotes here. Kind of giving me chills. These are a little dark, so it's kind of making me a little worried. If Mafi gets rid of my favorite characters, I am going to be a little cross. Very, very cross. Cyrus, the poor man. This guy, he has been tortured way too much. Way too much. This poor soul. Okay, we are in part 1, in the beginning, and already I am getting into this. We have Cyrus, the very first page, and the poor guy. I swear, if something happens to him, there will be consequences. So starting out here, we have Cyrus. He's running through something. For those of you who've read it, I'm just gonna have some running commentary here. He's running through this thing with snakes and poison, and the poor guy is scared out of his mind. I believe it's in the past currently, but he's going through some kind of traumatizing experience and it hurts my heart. I need him to be okay. Okay, I just started the first chapter, and already we have some delightful conversation between Cameron and Miss Huda. This is great, y'all. Gotta say, I love the secret sass from Hazan. He held himself back so much in the first book because obvious reasons. It's always nice to hear his real thoughts. Okay, everyone, so I took a bit of a break, but now I'm back, and this will probably happen a few more times later on. So thus far in the video, I haven't gotten into much detail with the book yet. It's been relatively spoiler-free. I've only mentioned a handful of names. But from this point on, I will probably get into a little bit more detail with it. So if you haven't read the book, I recommend not watching this until later. Or if you just want to watch it anyway and don't mind the spoilers, then that's okay too. So let's get back into it. So it's still relatively early on, but I thought I'd talk a little bit about what's going on right now. So I'm on chapter 7 currently. This is kind of a pivotal point because this is Cyrus having a meeting with Iblis. And the devil has been mentioned so often that I'm looking forward to seeing what he's like actually on page. So I think that'll be really interesting. And as always, I feel so bad for our poorly treated Cyrus. He deserves the world. But I'm looking forward to reading this part, so See you in a few minutes. Okay, this part right here, it was wrong, all wrong. Cyrus couldn't die, not now, not yet. Heavens, she thought. Not ever. She suddenly felt like she might scream at the prospect, her feelings on the matter so tangled they built a nest in her chest. Her own emotional chaos notwithstanding, Eliza had every practical reason to keep Cyrus alive too. But it's not about practicality, is it, girly? I love this so much. Clearly, she said, "Who are you talking to?" His heart was beating faster now. "My dragon," he said. "Oh," a little line formed between her brows. "You have a dragon?" Yes. Just like you did before." She stifled a yawn, her eyes closing. "Do I get one too?" Cyrus frowned. "Would that please you?" "Yes, I think so." Even half dead, these two were just adorable. I love them. So we are almost halfway through the book by now, and lots of stuff has happened. Cameron has finally made it to Toulon, and they had a very interesting interaction. It didn't go very well, and poor Cyrus, as always. Probably gonna be my mantra for most of this video is poor Cyrus. So very sad for him. But I'm really liking where it's going so far. I've noticed that she's focused a little bit more on Cyrus and Cameron than she has on Eliza. I really love having Eliza's point of view, but I understand why she's focusing more on our male leads, and I don't mind that as much. It's nice to have all of their perspectives. I like that. But yes, definitely liking where it's going so far. It's intriguing and has the right amount of angst and fear for the characters, as well as sprinkled humor, which I always appreciate. Too few books know how to balance humor and action as well as danger. And so far this book has just been a really good balance and I've loved it. I'm actually dual reading it with one of my closest friends, so I'm very excited to hear what she thinks of it so far. So that'll be exciting. Right now, I'm mostly just tolerating Cameron. I believe it's been like 2 chapters in a row of his perspective, and it's kind of redundant. Basically, people say stuff, he's angry. People say more stuff, he's more angry. Something shocks him, then he's angry again. Lots of anger for this guy. He seems to only be calm when Eliza is around, and at the same time, she also enrages him more. So very interesting dynamic, but at this point, I'm very heavily on the Cyrus side of things. I can't see her with Cameron anymore. That went out the window a long time ago. But I do value him as a character still. I don't hate him. I just don't ship him with Eliza anymore. But where things are kind of going, I almost want to ship him with Miss Huda. Like, don't judge me. Because I've seen little hints of it, that Mafi is kind of sprinkled in there. But at the same time, Cameron needs to get over a lot of things and definitely humble himself. And Miss Huda, I love her so much. She's an awesome character. She provides comic relief, and she's an interesting character that you may not see in a lot of YA books, you know? You just don't have types like her, and I really love her story and just character overall. I think it's really fun having her along. I want her to be with someone who will make her feel loved and give her the things she deserves. So maybe Cameron will get there, but he also might not. We'll have to see. Okay, so I've done a little reading off screen and I've just finished part 1. So I kind of wanted to go over some things that I thought were interesting so far. So Cyrus has waken up. Now Cameron and the rest of the gang are kind of peppering him with questions like, what is happening? And Cyrus, same thing, like, why are you here? Get out of my house. You know, as he should. But Cameron is annoyingly determined, so unfortunately I think he has to stick around for most of the book probably. Oh well. So back and forth they're kind of going over a lot of things that happened in the first book. And now they're both kind of being aware of revelations. And this is kind of a really eloquent way that she was able to recap the first book, but tie it in well with the actual plot of the story and not just redundant. Like, oh yeah, we already know all this stuff, why are you repeating it? It was the characters actually becoming aware of these revelations in real time. So I thought that was a good way of putting it. One thing I thought was interesting is Cyrus insults Cameron because, let's face it, the guy deserves it. And he basically tells him off with like, you are arrogant, you're thick-headed, you don't deserve your crown unless you really care about people. You need to be a better ruler, dude. And Cameron is kind of taken aback, like, why would you say that? Confused and everything. First I was like, this is a very interesting reaction and it's not very typical for him. But then I was wondering about his mother's note. And we still haven't figured out what that says yet. At least I haven't so far. And I was wondering if it had parallel to what his mother said in her note. You need to fix some things before you can be a good ruler or something like that. So that's why Cameron's like, who told you to say that? Like, why are you telling me this, dude? So I thought maybe that could be why he reacted so oddly. But we'll have to see. So I've only read a little teensy bit more, but I wanted to comment on Rostam. I really like him. You always need like that good mentor who gives this advice about the world that you just feel in your soul. So all very well and good. And also, I love when I find typos. Sometimes it's like, oh wow, there's a typo there. But it also reminds you that the author is in fact human. Even in editing, we can't find everything. And it makes me feel better about all the mistakes I make while writing. Okay. No, Cameron has basically just ruined everything. And I hate him a little right now. Like, really? It's not objectively his fault. They were in the carriage, they got bumped, and it looks bad. Eliza's in his arms, and he's asking for her hand in marriage and everything. And of course, that's the part that Cyrus is gonna see. And the poor guy is going to give up, be sad, claim he doesn't deserve. Cameron, I hate you a lot. Not even your fault, but I'm gonna blame you for it. I'm very much gonna blame you for it. Please stop existing for a little while. Just disperse, disappear, stop being, and let Eliza and Cyrus have their happiness. I believe you two just get, man. Okay, gonna read about Cyrus and his pain now. I'm a little farther now, and I've just gotta express my annoyance here because Eliza has just woken up after being asleep for like a month. Everyone is coming to see her and explaining all that she's missed and another recap for things that have happened. And all the while, the Jen are waiting outside and she goes to address them. He dies. And all this time, Cyrus can't come and see her because he's not allowed on the Diviner lands. and I am just so frustrated by this. I've been very patient, but it's been several chapters now. And then Cameron appears. So Cameron gets to see her before Cyrus does, and I am upset about this, to say the least. Okay, so I just finished the book, gotten to the end. As always with pretty much every book she's written that I've read, I need more. This wasn't as bad of a cliffhanger as the first two books, so I appreciate that. I kind of loved where it just ended. Normally it frustrates me beyond measure, but that was good. But again, need more. So much more. I cannot wait for the next book to come out, and I hope she writes it as fast as humanly possible. Just looking at the very back, it's recommending the whole series, and then there's a quote from Stephanie Garber, which of course, I love her books, and it says very eloquently, "Prepare to be destroyed. Consider me destroyed." This is gonna be a problem, as I don't think I'll be able to be productive for the rest of this day. I'll probably go and edit the rest of this video, but anything else I need to get done probably won't happen because I'll be agonizing over Eliza and Cyrus and everything. Now this setup is kind of perfect for the next book. Cyrus will not be able to leave Eliza's side, and it will be so heart-wrenching and painful for everyone. But this is exactly what I want. And they're all going to go to the mountain of Arya. And my current theory, it has specified many times that I believe it's five people need to be willing to die for her. And Eliza is very obviously against that. She doesn't like death if it's needless, and she doesn't want people to be dying for her. But she accepts that she needs to claim the throne and be the ruler for the Jinn because her people need this. But my current theory is that it says specifically willing. People have to be willing to die for her. It doesn't say that they have to actually die. And with how this has gone so far, I think she's pretty set, honestly. I think there are several people willing to die for her at this point. I mean, she's got a whole nation of Jinn that are like, totally zealous, going crazy over her. But her close people, like Huda, Dean, Omid, they were willing to cross the ocean and go into a foreign nation to help her out and save her from Cyrus. Not that that was necessary. Really, she was in more danger from Cameron than ever she was of Cyrus. I'm getting increasingly annoyed with Cameron, but still, I don't hate him as much as I did Adam in the Shadow Me series. He's still okay. He just needs to stop going near Eliza. Like, at all. No more of that. He needs to stop just being around her, period. But he's probably going to join them on their journey. Obviously, he's gonna go back to Ardunia with them. He's got responsibilities with his crown and stuff. Not that he's focused on that much, as important as it is. Unlike some people who actually care about their people and their responsibilities as rulers. Cyrus, Eliza. They would be such a good ruling couple, y'all. Like, I can't even. So excited. But I know there's gonna be a lot of pain before we get to that point. And Cyrus, Eliza's not gonna kill him. That is not gonna happen. I refuse to accept anything different, Miss Mafi. That's a no-no. But the whole plot of their relationship is so intriguing and just heart-wrenching. And, oh, it's so amazing. I can't even express this, but definitely enjoyed that book so much. I wish Cyrus and Eliza had spent more time together. They had precious moments, very precious moments, and they thought about each other a lot. This is true, but there was not enough of it. They spent most of the book apart, really. I loved having Cyrus's perspective the whole time and that insight to his past. And comparing it to one of my other most favorite series, Once Upon a Broken Heart, the third book, I felt like if you have read it, it does balance multiple perspectives where it doesn't really do that in the first two books. But it didn't exactly handle it as well, I feel like, as this book did, where All This Twisted Glory, it took the opportunity to really divulge some important information and character from Cyrus. I feel like in Curse of True Love, the last book in that series, there was a lot of missed opportunity with getting to know Jax in the same way, because that was one thing I was really looking forward to with that book. Which, if you want a review for it, I probably will do that in the future, because I very much want to talk about that book. It's so good. I love that series a lot, but there were things I want to express about how it all tied together. Anyway, I had so much fun making this video. I got to sit and read a book on a couch, like, come on guys. And it took longer than expected, so I probably haven't posted very many videos in the time I've made this. But I'm hoping you enjoy watching this one as much as I enjoyed making it and reading this book, because it was amazing. Thank you to Tehereh Mafi for providing this for me. I very much enjoyed every second of it. Except when Cameron Dawn Eliza. That's no. But I loved it so much, and I'm looking forward to doing similar things in future videos. So with all of that said, I will bid you adieu. Goodbye!